Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to everyone on this beautiful Shabbat afternoon as we celebrate with Bryce and his family as he becomes another link in the unbroken chain of our Jewish tradition as he leads us this afternoon and becomes a bar mitzvah. And we know that there is a long history and chain of this tradition, especially in our synagogue. And we are so grateful to continue that linkage with Bryce, his siblings that will follow, and as well, all of you joining in to experience and celebrate this incredible Simcha milestone. We welcome all of you, and I'm Rabbi Jason Navarez, joined with Rabbi Cantor Arlene Bernstein, Rabbi Jeremy Gimbel, Heidi Gantwerk, and Andy Mayer, joined to help and support Bryce in leading us today, and we know he will lead us beautifully. Whether you're new to our synagogue or you're joining us once again, we welcome all of you, and we invite you to participate as much as possible, that in truth, in order to support the incredible study that Bryce has done, it's incumbent upon all of us to lift the prayer book words off its pages so that we may live them through our voices and through our hearts. If you're new to our synagogue, some of our prayer books that you should have are right in front of you, and if not, they're in a cart in the vestibule, and you can go out and grab one. As well, for those in our sanctuary, you will see to my right and left, you will see screens that will have some of our prayers, our Torah reading this afternoon. As well, those who are online, and I invite you to all turn to that camera in the back, wave hello, and say Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom.
so that we can join together as community. And those who are joining us online, all of our prayers and our words will be on your screens this afternoon. And so we join in a time, Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad, on page 70 in your prayer books. How wonderful, how joyful it is as we dwell together.
Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim 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 shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov u'manayim, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Whenever one of our children turns 13 years in a day, they become an adult in our community. It's true that no one is going to give them the car keys and no one is going to let them vote. However, in our community, this age is beautiful and becomes a responsible person. So you may see in the congregation and the rabbis here on the bima that we are wearing prayer shawls called talitot. And this is something that is the privilege and responsibility of a young person as they become b'nei mitzvah. On the four corners are these tzitzit, fringes that are wrapped and knotted, such as when they add up, They add up to 613. These are the commandments that we try to do that God is requiring and asking of us. So I want to ask Carly and Brett to come and to present Bryce with his talit.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Kiss both sides. And then here, let me put this on. You want to?
Bryce, it was almost to the day 28 years ago when I stood at Beth Israel leading Torah for my bar mitzvah. Today I'm standing here for your bar mitzvah and the feeling is indescribable. It feels like not that long ago coming home from an event that Mom surprised me at the front door she was pregnant with you. I could not even dream of the many ways that you would be such a blessing to us. To be able to share this tradition with you at the temple where I had my bar mitzvah, as well as your Uncle Mikey and Grandma Dee Dee, is very meaningful to me.
Just this April in Israel, when I listened to you practice your Torah portion on our long bus rides, I was flooded with emotions. It was the memories of your earliest years that came back to me. I remember holding you for the first time and deeply feeling so much love for you. I remember singing Baby by Justin Bieber because it gave you the giggles. I remember helping you learn to read, and even though it didn't come as quickly as it did for others around you, you were willing to work at it with a positive attitude and a no-nonsense approach that let me know you are a force to be reckoned with. Now here you are, maturing before our very eyes, not just as a young adult, but someone with a rich commitment to your faith, a relentless work ethic, and a gentle kindness that makes my heart swell with pride.
Ever since you were born, you would always watch others first. See what they were doing, make sure it is something that made sense to you, and then join in. I especially appreciate the calm and deliberate ways you approach life. That wisdom will not overly get excited and rush into something, has and will serve you well. In fact, I could use some more of that sometimes. It is so appropriate that your Torah portion is all about the rules of community. You've always been such a good listener and someone that follows the rules that society has established. There are so many times that I've wanted to bend a rule for my benefit, and you've always been there to remind me that there are rules for a reason. I thought as parents we do all the teaching and you would be the one doing the learning. But with you I realize that is not the case. With that said, I don't want you to think that means that you're in charge now, because it certainly does not. But I do want you to know you bring so much value and depth to our family.
As you know, family and tradition is paramount to me and your dad. Your name, Chaim Velvel, is for your great-grandpa Stan, Zadie's dad, and your middle name, Owen, is for your great-grandpa Oscar, Dee Dee's dad. I know they are both watching over us with pride today, along with all your other great-grandparents. Grandpa Oscar's love of golf, Grandpa Stan's love of tennis, and for both of them, their love of family is inherently a part of you. The way you value your time with your family and the way you play with and take care of Zoe and Mason shows us that you are patient and kind. Mason is included with your friends in whatever you do, and this is something that not all older siblings do. You are a role model to both of them, and we cannot wait to see the friendship between the three of you continue to develop. Our siblings are so important in our lives, and we can only hope that the three of you will continue to develop the friendship that comes with your siblings. It will add a richness to your life that is irreplaceable. May family, friendship, and partnership fill your life with contentment, but we want to remind you that each takes work, faith, commitment, and a strong sense of self. There will be no greater addition to your life than building on your Jewish faith and continuing to strengthen the relationship and community we are a part of.
As your parents, it is important to us that you live a Jewish life and act with respect, dignity, and kindness to others. Your kindness and care for others is something that really makes you unique. You stand up for your friends and you really make sure that they are okay, even if it isn't in your best interest. It is that selflessness that will make you a person who will make their mark in the world by doing good. I hope that you will continue to live that way. Never forget to be curious about life, to enjoy each moment, and continue to bring that kindness to everyone and everything that you do. Your ability to be humble and lighthearted is a wonderful quality that I hope you never lose. When others feel pressure to perform, you put your head down, you do the work, and show up as your best version. I'm reminded when you were 6, and other kids would get really upset and start crying when they lost. But for you, it was always about having fun, doing your best, and being with your friends. At a playoff baseball game, you hit a walk-off game-winning triple, and the coaches carried you off the field. It was truly a moment to be remembered. I was so excited for you and wanted to hear all about it. But in your very understated way, you shrugged your shoulders, told me it wasn't a big deal. You changed the subject, told me about the great snacks your team had and how much fun you had with your friends playing after the game. Being able to prioritize what is really important, which is that the experiences rather than the winning, has always been something you excel at, and I feel such pride seeing the man you are turning into. I have loved every stage of life with you so far, and see that it keeps just getting better and better with you.
Recently, you and I had a heart-to-heart about what becoming a bar mitzvah means. We discussed what it means to be Jewish, the ways we can carry out the commandments in our day-to-day life, and how gathering with community is so important to our life. Being Jewish and your identity will be strengthened by the choices you make each day. It will be up to you to fulfill the mitzvot and continue to find meaning in your life as a Jewish adult. I recently read, when you can, promote peace. When you can, promote loving kindness. When you can, promote compassion. When can you do these things? All of the time. Sure, sometimes it feels easier and more natural than others, but look for ways to heal the world, to find ways to perform acts of tikkun olam, and if you can't find them, ask for guidance. You will then be responsible for making this earth a better place. Bryce, we are here to support you and give guidance in that journey. Today, we celebrate because you, as a new bar mitzvah, are taking an important step in your life's journey. You are now on the path to adulthood, and with that comes responsibility. The voice of your inner spirit is beginning to speak, and you will be responsible for listening to it and making the choices that will guide the rest of your life. We love you, we are proud of who you are today, and we cannot wait to see what else is in store.
We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat which unites us in faith and hope, for this Shabbat holiness which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in the darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. We pray responsively the Psalms of Ashrei on page 220. אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד יחללוך סלה.
אשרי העם שככה לו, אשרי העם שאדוני אלוהיו.
תחילה לדוד, ארומים חי אלוהיך מלך, וברכה שמך לעולם ועד.
בכל יום אברכך, והללך לעולם ועד.
גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, ולגדולתו אין חקר.
דור לדור ישתבח מעשיך, וגבורותיך יגידו.
הדר כבוד הודיך, ודברי נפלותיך עשיך.
ועזוז נורתך יאמרו, וגדולתך אספרנה.
זכר רב טובך יביעו, וצדקתה ירננו.
חנון ברחום אדוני, ערך אלפיים ולא חסד.
טוב אדוני לאכול, ורחמיו על כל מעשיו.
יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך, וחסידיך יברכוך.
כבוד מלכות על יאמרו, וגבורתך ידברו.
להודיע לפני האדם באורותיו, וכבוד האדם מלכותו.
מלכות על מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור.
סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים, וזוקף לכל הכפופים.
עיני כל אליך יסברו, ואתה נותן לכם את אכלם בעיתו.
פותח את ידיך, ומשפיע לכל הרצון.
צדיק בכל דרכיו, וחסיד בכל מעשיו.
קרוב אדוני לכל קורב, לכל אשר יקראו באמת.
רצון ירב ישמע ויושיעם.
שומר אדוני כל אוהביו, ואת כל הרשעים ישמיד.
תחילת ידבר פיו, ויברך כל בשר, שם קידשו לעולם ועד. ואנחנו נברך יה,
ועתה ועד עולם.
Hallelujah. Please turn to page 225. There are times when the love of God burns so powerfully within your heart that the words of prayer seem to rush forth quickly and without deliberation. At such times, it is not you yourself who speaks, rather it is through you that the words are spoken. Please rise if you are able for our tefillah on page 226.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agiteilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מוריד אתה. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לישני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות תקום. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה המלכות. מקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים לנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני
Please be seated. Please turn to page 233. How shall we sanctify God's name? By being holy ourselves. How do we accomplish this? Let our prayer bring us to sacred deed, to actions that promote justice, harmony, and peace. Please turn to page 235. For the good in us which calls us to a better life, we give thanks. For the strength to improve the world with our hearts and hands, we give praise. For the peace in us which leads us to work for peace, we are grateful. For the gift of Shabbat which renews us for life, we offer blessing. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Please turn to page 237. Adonai, our God, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'oteha v'varcha b'yirat na'avod. We pray responsively on page 239. For the gift of our souls, for the promise of our lives, for all we are and all we might yet become, for the creative seeds sown within our minds, whose nurturing can yield a grand harvest. For all these gifts we thank you, O God, and pray that we prove ourselves worthy.
May our lives be ripe with the fruit of compassion, sweetly sustaining those in need. May we use our gifts wisely with love, true messengers of blessing to the world.
Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'cha na'eh lahodot. Please join Shalom Rav on page 240. Shalom Rav al Yisrael, amcha tasim leolam. Shalom.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki atah Shalom
take a few moments of silence?
In just a moment, we are going to reenact something that has been happening through the generations of the Jewish people. Our tradition teaches that when Moses ascended Mount Sinai and received the Ten Commandments, something we just celebrated in the holiday of Shavuot, that Moses did not just receive the 2 tablets, but he indeed received the whole of Torah, all of Jewish learning. And that Jewish learning was passed down through the generations, from Moses to Joshua to the prophets to the elders to the community and so on and so on. Everything from how Rashi would interpret the first letters of Torah all the way to how we light our Shabbat candles. This too is Torah. And so in a moment we're going to call up Bryce and his family members, and we will pass the Torah through the generations of his family and into his arms. And as he takes on the weight of Torah, we also know that he is symbolically taking on the weight of the Jewish people, as he hopefully will pass down the Torah to his future generations in many years' time. Seder Kriyat Torah, the order for reading Torah, can be found on page 246. We invite you to please rise as we call upon Diane, Elliot, Vicky, Doug, Carly, and Brett.
Baruch Shenatan Torah.
Adonai iti, uneromema shemo yachdav. Adonai hagidula vehagibura vehatiferet vehanezah ve'achol, ki ho bashamayim
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
This week on Shabbat, as we enter into Shabbat afternoon, we're already yearning for next week. We're already craving that soulful, we're missing Shabbat. We know that we're about to miss it, and we're craving for the next week's Parsha already, so we're turning to that. And this afternoon, that we have Bryce reading from this Torah portion in the book of Numbers, entitled Naso. But what is Naso? Naso is, when we hear it in the Hebrew, it means Naso Rosh. It means that we shall lift the heads. What does that mean? Lift the heads for all to be seen, for there to be a census count for each individual to have ownership over their destiny, over their community. How do they contribute to the whole? This week we learn about lots of things. We learn about the subclans of the Levites, the Gershonites, the Merarites, the Kohathites. We learn what happens when people in our community, in the context of Torah, are ritually unclean, and how does the community respond to that? Some of which we even debated this morning in Torah study as not essential to our time and place. But even through that, at the end of the Torah portion, as we journey through, we get to something that is going to be bestowed on Bryce after our Torah reading this afternoon, which is the Birkat Kohanim, the priestly benediction that we get to bestow upon our children every Shabbat, that we get to bestow once somebody becomes B'nai Mitzvah. We get to hold a couple under the chuppah. That is the blessing that is discussed this week, and Bryce has studied and learned and wrestled with this portion, and we will hear more of his insights as the journey continues. And so we are privileged to have a number of family members be our Balei Kriya, our Torah readers, and along with Bryce, and we have many family members who are coming up for their aliyot, for their ascension over the Torah. Again, we are reading from the book of Numbers. Specifically, we're beginning with chapter 4, verse 21. And for our first Baal Koreh, our first Torah reader, I delight in calling upon Jordan Wolf. And for our first Aliyah, I'd like to call upon Laura and Scott Wernick and Roberta Fierstein.
Yamdu Rachel Leah bat Nechama v'David, Zesha Avraham ben David, Rachel bat Rezel ve'Azriel Dov, Rishon.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Borach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu b'kol ha'amin V'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
This isn't the right portion. There we go. Amen. Vadaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, naso et rosh, bnei Gershon gamhem, leveit avotam, lemishpechotam, mi bein shloshim shana, v'mala ad, ben chamishim shana, tifkod otam, kol haba litzvot tzava, le'avod avodah be'ohel moed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natoheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Thank you.
For our second Aliyah, I delight in calling upon Doug Wolf for our Baal Koreh, and for our Aliyot, I call upon Jordan and Katie Wolf, Josh Wolf, and Vicky and Doug Wolf.
Yamdu Gershon ben David Yosef v'Rendel Etka Fruma Sarah bat Ruvain ve'Esther Malka Yosef Anoch ben David Yosef v'Kaindel Etka bat David v'Nechama David Yosef ben Chaim v'Pesach Nechama Hasheni.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Zod avodot mishpachot hagerushim le'avod u'masha unusehu et yireot hamishkan ve'et ohel moed miksehu u'mikseh hatachash asher alav milma'ala ve'et masach petach ohel moed ve'et kalei hachatzer ve'et masach petach she'ar hachatzer asher al hamishkan ve'al hamizbeach saviv ve'et miterehem ve'et kol kilei avodotam ve'et kol asher yaseh lehem u'avodu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
For our third Aliyah, I'd like to call upon Brett for our Baal Koreh, for our Torah reader. And for our third Aliyah, I delight in calling upon Diane and Elliot Fierstein, Michael and Andrea Fierstein.
Yamdu Dina bat Haskel, Eliezer ben Azriel Dov, Menachem Mendel ben Eliezer, Ruth bat Abraham, Ashlishi.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Vayadaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael va'amarto alechem ish o isha Ki yafli lindor neder nezer lechazir le'Adonai. Miyayim v'shehar yazir ho meit yayin v'cho meit shechar lo yishteh v'chol mishrot anatavim lo yishteh ve'anavim lachim ve'beshim lo yohel kol yemei nitzro mikol asher yaseh migefen hayayin mechartzanim vadsag lo yohel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
For our fourth Aliyah, I'd like to call upon Bryce to be our Baal Koreh, our Torah reader, and I delight in calling upon Carly and Brett.
Ya'amdu Chava Shira bat David Yosef v'Kreindl Yitzchak Shopsi ben Eliezer v'Dina Harivi'i.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam
Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
Kol yemei neder nizro ta'ar lo yavor al rosho ad melo hayamim asher yazir ladonai kadosh yehei gadel pera se'ar rosho kol yemei chaziro ladonai al nefesh me lo yavo le'aviv ul imo le'ahiv ulachoto lo yitma lachem bemotam kinezer el chav al rosho kol yemei nizro kadosh hu ladonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
And for the blessing and reading of our fifth Aliyah, I delight in calling upon our bar mitzvah, Bryce Fierstein.
Ya'amod, 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 Chaim Veldul bat Yitzchak Shopsi v'Chava Shira, Bachur habar mitzvah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vehi yamut met alav befeta pidom v'timei rosh nizro v'gila rosho bayom taharato bayom hashvi'i yigalheinu uvayom hashmini yavi shetei torim oshnei b'nei Yonah El HaKohan, El Beta, Ohal Moed, Ve'asa HaKohen. Echad lechatat, ve'echad leolah, ve'kiper alav, ma'asar chata al hanafesh, ve'kidesh et rosho, bayom hahu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Whenever we reach a new moment of joy and celebration in our tradition, we join together for the words of Shechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'echianu v'kimanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'echianu v'kimanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh.
This time I'd like to call Jeremy Warnick to lift our Torah, and James Warnick and Blair Henning to dress our Torah as we continue with Bezot HaTorah. I invite you to please rise, if you are able, as well as Ark openers Denise and Andrew Gordon.
Bezot HaTorah אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל. אבי אדוני ביד משה.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for being here today to celebrate me becoming an adult in the Jewish community. My bar mitzvah portion, Naaso, is the story of the Israelites becoming a working community. A census was conducted and the duties of the tabernacle were detailed, of the Gershonites, Merarites, and Kohathites. Moses then dedicates the sanctuary to make it holy. The chieftains of each tribe also brought offerings to Moses. Each tribe is given particular jobs and responsibilities. Being a part of a community that works well together includes everyone doing their jobs, people communicating with their community, and having leaders responsible for making sure that everything is getting done. The word naaso means to lift, to carry, and to forgive. In this Torah portion, God tells Moses to perform a census. In some way, God seems to be counting the people as if they are just a number. But then he is detailing the types of responsibilities they will have, and this shows that this is a community and its strength isn't just based off of numbers, but on their ability to work together. The strength of a community is built by everyone doing their part. God ranked the duties, but even the lowest ranked tasks, such as the Merarites lugging nuts and bolts, was identified by God as a service and responsibility. So not only must everyone have a job, but God instructed the people to find meaning in the job they did. The nuts and bolts were important to building a strong foundation, and even though it wasn't ranked as high, it was just as important. Without a strong foundation, the Kohathites would not be able to do their job in the tabernacle. I wonder why God provided rankings of the jobs, since each role played an important part in the development of this community. Why count the people and make them feel like they are insignificant numbers if they are each truly important? Rashi, a medieval French commentator of the Bible and Talmud, tells us that the counting of a people is the divine love. The meaning of the phrase, lift the head, is used in the context of a census because God tells Moses that there is a danger when counting a nation, that each individual will feel insignificant. It is written, what am I? What difference can I make? I am only one of millions, a mere wave in the ocean. A grain of sand on the seashore, dust on the surface of infinity. Against that, God tells Moses to lift people's heads by showing that they each count. They matter as individuals. In Judaism, taking a census must always be done in such a way to signal that we are valued as individuals. We each have unique gifts. There's a contribution only I can bring. To lift someone's head means to show them favor, to recognize them. It is a gesture of love. At first, I felt that it would be reducing them to a number. But after thinking about Rashi's commentary, I noticed it's similar to being part of a sports team. For example, my flag football team has 6 starters, but we each play different positions. We each bring different talents to the team, and that is what makes us a strong team. Each role is important and makes us individually good players, but we are only able to win if we work together and each of us does our individual jobs. Just like society creates duty and order, in my family, Judaism is about the traditions that we follow. We celebrate holidays and Shabbat often as a family. As well, I am following the traditions of my grandparents and parents who all had their B'nai Mitzvah. My Zeta read the same Torah portion Naso 56 years ago as he became a bar mitzvah. My uncle Jordan then read the same portion at his bar mitzvah 21 years ago. Today they both shared in reading parts of the portion. Doing this tradition is both important to me as an individual, but also connects me to the history of my family. As individuals, we can use our talents to be our best selves, but as a group or community, we can do much bigger things. In becoming a bar mitzvah, I have responsibility as an individual to be a contributing member of my community. Ben Zoma once said, "Who is honored? One who honors others." While the Torah portion describes to lift people's head, this means to me to always make those you meet feel important. My first friend, Nathan Gordon, was someone who was kind and made others feel like the most important person. Even though he struggled with his health due to a rare form of brain and spinal cancer, he was the person who always tried the hardest to make others happy and laugh, even though he was in pain or unable to do what others could. Nathan made others feel like they mattered. For my bar mitzvah project, I organized a poker tournament, which was me and Nathan's favorite thing to do together, in order to raise research funds for Rady's Children's Hospital. This will support families dealing with brain and spinal cancer. I was lucky on this night to be surrounded by 150 people who supported my effort in Nathan's memory and make up my community. Together, we raised $25,000. When all the people who love and support me and Nathan came together, we made a difference in the world. As a grown adult in the Jewish community, I'm committed to taking on more responsibilities, giving back and treating everyone I meet with dignity and respect. Without my community, I wouldn't be here today. I want to thank all the people who helped me make today possible. Thank you to my parents, especially my mom, for planning everything and always being there for me. I love how you always cook my favorite things and how we are shopping buddies. Dad, thank you for always being there for me. I love how you are willing to play sports with me day or night. You are always so energetic and want to do something new with me. Zoe, thanks for always being the best baker and letting me eat everything you bake. You are always so kind except when you get hangry. You are always so helpful and willing to make life better for others. Mason, thank you for always making me laugh. You bring all the energy into our house and make everything a good time. You are always hanging out with me and my friends and making everything more fun. Dee Dee and Grandpa, thank you for always taking me golfing and playing ping pong with me. Grandpa, I love our lottery ticket trips to a gas station. Dee Dee, I love making pizzas with you. Grammy and Zadie, thank you for always supporting me by coming to my sports games and watching baseball games with me. The Padres are still the best, but I don't mind if we root for different teams. Grammy, you always try and make my favorite things, and you even introduced me to National Ice Cream for Breakfast Day, which is now my favorite holiday. Zadie, I love going to baseball games with you. You always make it so fun. Maura Sharon, thank you for helping me learn all the Torah and all the prayers. I've known you since I was in first grade. You've always been enthusiastic about my learning, patient as I learned the prayers, and I finally used the recording since you insisted. I hope it paid off. Thank you to Rabbi Cantor Bernstein, Rabbi Navarez, and Rabbi Gimbel for the guidance and education through the bar mitzvah process. Thank you to Andy Mayer for the beautiful music today. I feel so lucky to have had my education at SDJA and want to thank all my teachers who have supported me through the years. To my extended family and friends, thank you to everyone who has come here from far and from close. You are my community. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Bryce, Mazel Tov. How are you feeling?
Good.
Very good. Good, like with a sigh of relief in his body. His whole body just dropped. It's very, very good. Now, I know this is a joyous day for both of us. You had this incredible milestone surrounded by amazing friends and family. My Yankees won today. It's a good day, not for Padre fans, but it's okay. We're here. We're in San Diego. It's bright and beautiful, and we're all shining. So I'm just kidding with you a little bit. So I want to share some things that I've really appreciated in getting to know you, and learning about how you tick. And one of the things is, besides the way in which you think about people and the way I've heard you talk about your brother and your sister and your parents, is not always typical of a young 13-year-old, young male adolescent, I would say. I would say that your way of thinking beyond you, and I think your dad captured it really beautifully in the way he the way he shared and articulated that the focus wasn't on you. It was about the greater good. And I couldn't think of a more appropriate Torah portion for you than understanding the greater community. For you to share it with your family members and have that is what we call a machaya. That is like something so special and so wonderful that I know will be passed l'dor v'dor, from generation to generation. But I'm thinking about you, not only the incredible organization in the poker tournament that you did to benefit Rady Children's Hospital, and not the golf and the tennis and the football, flag football and all the things and hanging out with your friends, but I want to pick your brain a little bit about your Rubik's Cube skills. And I know that you may not play it as often as you used to, but I want to point something about Rubik's Cube. It is an incredible tool because not only does it help hand-eye coordination and dexterity and focus, but it also helps someone expand their creativity. It helps to spark imagination. It helps to spark possibility. In this experience, in this journey, you had to think about how you were going to stand and be in front of people and say to the world that you've taken on a new mantle of Jewish leadership in and out of these walls. You've also had to think about how you craft words of Torah that are timeless, but were written at a certain point, and how you were going to make it connect and resonate with your life and with everybody here. You've done that masterfully. And the way in which you live your life with purpose and intention, that is what we only hope that you will continue to do. You're a young, inspiring, beautiful individual, soulful at your core. My hope and my prayer is that you will use this moment as a jumping off point to know for what you stand as a young Jewish man in our tradition, to know that last night here in our congregation we had 16 individuals, a few years above you, who are celebrating becoming confirmands, talking about some of their fear of being Jewish in the world and living Jewishly. And I hope that as your family has instilled in you and continues to instill, that you will have the confidence and the identity to know that even with the trials and travails that are in front of you and ahead, just as an individual in this world, but also as a Jewish individual in this world, that you will heed that call not with fear, but with focus and intention to know for what you stand and to make this world more kind and more whole. May this be the beginning of much of your blessing and journey as we look forward to seeing so much of your leadership and growth here and beyond. And I'm going to invite my clergy partners to come and join me with you as we get to offer you these ancient words that are right in your Torah portion, as we noted, as we bestow them on you today.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's face shine upon you with radiance and with grace.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lacha shalom. May God's presence always be with you, Bryce. May be granted health and long life, the courage to fill it with much joy, with much blessing, and always with peace. As we all say together, Amen.
Amen.
Amen. At this time, I'd like to call upon one of the members of our board, Robin Spiegel, to present Bryce with some gifts.
Bryce, Mazel Tov, you led the congregation so beautifully this afternoon. It is an honor for me to get to be up here with you today as you become a bar mitzvah. I have had the joy of watching you grow into this wonderful young man since you were just 6 weeks old. Our families share so many memories together, and we are really so proud of you today. On behalf of the congregation, I'd like to present some gifts to you. The first is this certificate, and this is their certificate of B'nai Mitzvah. And you signed it along with your parents and clergy today, and it notes the privileges and responsibilities of becoming a B'nai Mitzvah. Next is the Kiddush cup holder, or Kiddush cup and candlestick holders from the women of Beth Israel. May you use these in your home as you continue your family's Shabbat traditions and other holidays and milestones too. We are also presenting you with this book. It's called On the Doorpost of Your House, and it's presented by the Men's Club. The hope is that this book serves as a resource for you as you begin your next chapter of Jewish living. And I'll give you something to do now that you're done with your bar mitzvah. This tree certificate signifies the tree has been planted in Israel in your honor. And lastly is this gift certificate from Nifty that will help you participate on a Nifty organized trip to Israel when you are older. So enjoy all these gifts on behalf of the congregation. Before I wrap up, for everyone here, for the kids that are taking the bus to the party, the bus will be downstairs, just past the staircase. And for those of you that are joining by car, remember that the celebration continues at Hangar 858. Bryce, we know that this is just the beginning of your Jewish journey, and everyone here at Beth Israel is looking forward to having you be an active member of the community. Mazel tov to you and your family.
We're not leaving yet, friends. We begin to conclude our service on page 282 with Aleinu L'Shabeach. We invite you to please rise. Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, Latet Gidula Yotzer Reshit, Shelo Asanu Kigoye Haratzot, Velo Samanu Kimishmachot Ha'adama, Shelo Sam Chelkeinu Kahem, Vegor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam, V'anachnu Korim U'mishtachavim U'modim Lifnei Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo As we turn to page 294, we prepare for Kaddish Yatom, our mourner's Kaddish. Our thoughts include all of those who are not with us physically, but are surely here in our hearts. Bryce, we're especially thinking of those in your entire family. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. As we join together, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash
Shmei Rabbam, Be'amad Yivrach Yirteh Ve'amlich Malchuteh, B'chayechon V'yomechon U'v'chayei L'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'gala V'zman Kari V'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbam Mevorach Le'olam Olamei Almaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitfamam V'yinaseh. V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei D'Kodesha B'richu. Le'ela Mikol Birchata V'shirata. Tushbechata V'nechanata. Damiran Be'alma V'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya. V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav. Uyaseh Shalom. Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. V'imru Amen.
Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories continue to inspire and be for blessing, as together we say.
Amen.
We now transition to Havdalah. So we invite you to put your prayer books down. The words will be on the screens. And of course, La 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 is a very important part of the music of this prayer. So we want you to participate as joyfully as possible. Havdalah means separation. And the separation today is for Bryce as he transitions from childhood to adulthood in the Jewish community. It is also the ending of the Sabbath. We are not so close, but close enough for us to have this prayer. So this service uses all of our senses. And we have a candle that is braided that is the Jewish people, God, Israel. It connects all of us together, and you see that it's braided and twisted. And we have wine. As we began the Sabbath, we end it with wine. And we also have spices. The spices remind us of the beauty of Shabbat and also lift our spirits, because we're actually sad that the Shabbat is ending. We're sad that this service is ending, and the spices lift our spirits and get us to the next moment. Being passed out are some spice bags. When we do the blessing, then what you do is you shake the spices and you sniff them, and that will help you remind, and you can keep them for the evening. The other thing we do is we lift our hands out to the candle when the blessing comes, and it reminds us of the separation of dark and light. And so we begin. Hinei El Yeshuati.
המבדיל בין קודש לחול. המבדיל בין קודש לחול, עתותינו ינחול. שרנו וחסדנו ירבה כחול, והכוכבים בלילה. שבוע טוב, 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 שבוע טוב. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Agiladi, Bimera Be'amenu, Yavo Eleinu, Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Agiladi.
As we say Shavua Tov to everyone, a good and peaceful week, we say Mazel Tov. One more time to Bryce. Thank you all for joining us. Shavua Tov.
Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hakiladi, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hakiladi, Bimhera Oyavo Mashiach ben David, Bimhera Oyavo Eleinu Mashiach, Mashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hakiladi, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Bimhera Oyavo Eleinu Mashiach, Mashiach